Hello everyone, my name is Robin, and today I will be talking about an app that will lead you to question whether you are truly in control of your own destiny. This app, of course, is The Pattern. And just to clarify before beginning this video, I'm not affiliated with this app in any way, shape, or form. I just simply found it through a friend and I've been using it over the course of the past 2 years. And this is just my experiences with the app personally. To lead up to what I'm about to talk about, I have never really been a big believer in astrology. But this app has really challenged that belief in me. The existence of an app like this has had me questioning the possibility of our lives being predetermined, at least to some extent. This app, ominously titled The Pattern, first received a boost of popularity back when Channing Tatum reacted to it in a viral Instagram post.
I need some answers, okay?
I will post a link in the description below of this Instagram post if you want to check that out for yourself. I was introduced to this app through a good friend of mine about 2 years ago now, and the first 5 times I used it, I had the exact same reaction as Channing Tatum, no joke. If you have used the app before, then I think you know what I mean. But alright, let's get some definitions out of the way first. So what is deterministic thinking or predetermination? It refers to the belief or worldview that everything in life is predetermined. We essentially have no free will over our actions or the choices we make, and everything that is fated to happen will happen no matter what you do. Deterministic thinking is part of the age-old argument between free will and determinism. If you want to know more about this argument between free will and determinism, I'm linking a video down below by the School of Life. They explain it pretty well. Popular works such as Shakespeare's Hamlet are great examples of how this debate plays out in the works of fiction and fantasy throughout history. The play Hamlet, as an example, explores the premise of the characters' actions being predetermined and futile to the outcome of their lives. Works like these really make you think about your own life as well. If you've read or seen any Shakespearean play, you might have noticed the presence of oracles, soothsayers, or any kind of future tellers. They usually foretell future outcomes for the characters in the beginning of the play. The role of these oracles is to act as deterministic forces in the story. They often foretell either the demise or the success of the character through a lot of heavy riddles. Then you, as the reader or the viewer, works alongside the character to try and decipher these riddles. The common theme in works of this nature is that somehow these riddles end up being true in the end. But is the presence of oracles foretelling future outcomes limited to fictional work? That's the real question, not to be or not to be. And by now you may be asking, how does determinism relate to astrology and this app? Well, astrology claims to have information about your temperament, character, personality, and behavior based on something that's arguably outside the realm of your choices, your birth date. And that is your birth chart, which is your birth date, time, and place. It also claims to know things that will happen to you in the future, and this can be seen in horoscopes. So I think it's safe to say that astrology supports a deterministic way of thinking. Things happen to you, this is beyond your realm of control. It's predetermined by some kind of force that's outside yourself. It's written in the stars. So why might this be an issue? Well, like most things in life, the issue could lie in our perspective. Some people might be comforted by the thought that everything is laid out for them from the beginning. They know exactly what to expect from life from the start, and can thus work to accept their reality. While others might be bothered by the possibility of not being in control of their own destinies and actions and choices they make throughout their lives. The possibility of this predetermined life that they have and their lack of control to be able to change that might bother them. When we are in debate about this topic, we often ask ourselves whether our actions are truly chosen by us or only perceived as such. I personally prefer the idea that I can choose and control my actions, and the outcomes can change depending on the actions I take throughout my life. I want my choices to be my own, and I want them to matter. I want to feel like all the hard work I put into creating my life is something that I chose to do and not just something that would have happened no matter what I did. And so if we can choose what we prefer, then what's the issue then? Well, unfortunately, studies have shown that deterministic thinking is actually bad for our health. Why might this be the case? I think there are a few reasons for this. The first and most obvious one is that deterministic thinking can make you feel powerless or out of control. If you are not able to see the direct results of all your hard work, as well as the consequences of your actions, and if the outcome of your life would be the exact same whether you choose to take action or you don't, then the motivation for taking action to actively reach where you want to be in life might be dampened. This second issue with deterministic thinking is that it can foster a nihilistic viewpoint. If you don't believe you have any control over your actions, then it's easy to fall into a nihilistic viewpoint that nothing you do matters. Whether you take action on something or not, it will yield the same outcome anyway. The third possible issue with deterministic thinking is that it can yield to unrealistic expectations. If you believe that something is meant to be and it doesn't happen that way, then it might lead to disappointment. The fourth and final possible issue is that deterministic thinking might lead to a defeatist attitude or the feeling like you are limited to a box. Thinking that you can never get better or improve in your life and that you are limited to being in a certain box and not be able to come out of it can be a dangerous way of thinking about your life. It can lead to a self-fulfilling prophecy where you are placed in that box and you view yourself as just that. The opposite of a growth kind of mindset where you grow and improve throughout your life. So astrology, to some extent at least, promotes deterministic thinking, unfortunately. But where does the pattern fit into all this? The pattern runs on astrology. You create individual profiles based on your birth chart. You don't just create your own profile, you can also create a profile of anyone you know, even strangers, as long as you have their birth chart information. The more information you have regarding their birth chart, the more accurate the reading will be. Each profile comes with a list of static, stable traits that are unique to that person. So that's called their pattern. And along with that, their profile also comes with a dynamic shifting list of past, present, and future cycles, which is known as their timing. And if that's not enough, you can also enter a specific date in the past or the future to check what their cycle was during that time. And then there's also the profile linking or the connection section of the app. The app allows you to link any two profiles together and see how they match up in terms of friendship and romantic. It literally tells you how two people would react to each other if they came together. It tells you the point of their strongest connection as well as their biggest challenge with each other. It also takes a look on how their romantic timing aligns with each other through looking at how their cycles line up. The app gives you near daily notifications about your specific timing and cycle, as well as the current cycle of the world. So the individual update is called your timing, and then the world update is called world timing. And the app is pretty detailed too. It's not generic. It gets into details about you and how you are, your characteristics and traits, and those of others too. To be fair though, the app does tell you at the end of almost everything it reads to you that the information it gives are merely just clues as to how you can live your best life or how to be most fulfilled in your life. But that doesn't take away from the fact that it seems to know how you can live that best life and what you can do to be most fulfilled. So what has been my personal experience with the pattern? Reading through it all the first few times I looked at it, I felt like I was cheating. Like I had access to all this information about my life and the life of people around me that I shouldn't have access to. I shouldn't know anything about my future and what's going to come. At least that's how I felt when I was reading through it all. I thought to myself that if this was a movie, it would be one of those movies where a group of friends come across some magical force that tells them about their futures and just generally things that they shouldn't know. And at first it seems great and amazing. They found all this cool information about themselves. But then eventually it leads to giant wormholes in the fabric of space and time, and then are forced to destroy it in the end before the entire universe implodes. Hopefully that's not the case though. But in all seriousness, I thought about what was it exactly that bothered me about the app. Was it that this app's ability to predict everything took away from the notion that we are in control of our own lives? Or was it that the knowledge that we gain about how we can be fulfilled gives us the responsibility to act in order to reach that fulfillment in our own lives? For me, it was both. As I mentioned earlier, I like the notion of being in control of my life, my actions, my decisions. But reading the information on myself that the app provided me, it showed me that there was a lot in my life I still needed to face to get to where I want to be in life. This app is a tool, and like any tool, it's determined by the user. And how we use it is one sure thing that we can determine. Access to your past, present, and future is right at your fingertips. Available for free download from the Apple or Android stores. If you want to check out the app yourself and determine whether it's for you, I'm providing the link to the app in the description below, so check it out if you'd like. Alright, so that's it for today's musings. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like down below and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more of these kinds of videos. Let me know in the comments below if you have had similar experiences with this app, if you've tried it yourself, what you got out of it. I'm really curious to hear your thoughts on it. As always, I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you so much for watching my videos, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye for now!